So good evening everyone. My name is Justin Marilao. And we are my co-member. So we are the presenter of Group 1. So our topic is all about the biological membrane, transport, shuttle system, lipid digestion, and metabolism cholesterol. First, let's proceed to biological membrane and to its function and structure. So as you can see, the biological membrane is also known as a cell membrane that separates and protects the interior of the cell membrane from the outside of the environment. So let's discuss every part of the cell membrane. So this area is what we call a lipid bilayer. So when we say lipid bilayer, is to hold the cells together. And it also acts as a barrier between the cells and its surrounding. So glycolipids. So when we say glycolipids, this proteins is this glycolipids this is a fat molecule with sugar chains. So this involves in to help the cells recognition. So globular proteins. So these proteins is that are round in shape. So this involves in many functions like transporting the substances. Glycoproteins. So this area is what we call a glycoprotein. So when we say glycoproteins, this is a protein with sugar chains. So this is very important with cells signaling, with cells communication and recognition. Carbohydrates. That's part. So this carbohydrate is the sugar chains that helps with cells recognition. Integral proteins. So this area is integral proteins. So when we say integral proteins, so this is a protein that span the entire membrane. So this is a protein that span the entire membrane. So this is involved in transporting the material in and outside of the cell. Channel protein. So when we say channel proteins this is a specific type of integral protein that allows the certain molecules to pass through the membrane. Alpha helix proteins. So this part is alpha helix protein. So when we say alpha helix proteins, this is a protein structure that can help with signaling and transport of the cells. So cholesterol. So this cholesterol is inside of it. So when we say cholesterol, this is a fat molecule, and this is a fat molecule that can help maintaining the membrane fluidity and stability. So lastly but not the least, the peripheral proteins. So when we say peripheral proteins, this is located on the outer surface of the membrane. So overall, the cell membrane is very important for protecting and supporting the cells. Now let's proceed to the next slide. The composition of membranes. So what are membranes? So membranes are made of two lipid layers, are called a phospholipids. So phospholipids have two types. The first part is the hydrophilic or polar. This one. Hydrophilic or polar, or what we call a water soluble, or that can interact with water. Next, the second part is hydrophobic or non-polar. It is what we call a water insoluble that avoids water. So the cell membrane also contains equal or balanced amount of cholesterol. So when we say cholesterol, so this it can help to keep the cell the membrane stable. So next, protein. So proteins in membrane occurs in two different ways. Some proteins are located in the interior of the membrane, integral membrane proteins. So how can we found the integral membrane proteins? Usually we can found these integral membrane proteins inside of the membrane. So what is the function of the integral membrane protein? So this integral membrane protein, it can channeling or transporting molecules across the membrane. So others are located in the outer surface of the membrane and are known as a peripheral membrane protein. So how can we found the peripheral membrane protein? So because it is located on the outer surface of the membrane. So the function of the peripheral membrane proteins are proteins that are temporarily associated with the membrane. They can easily remove, which allow them to be involved in cell signaling. So transmembrane proteins serve as, or they can act as a channel, carrier, and pump and receptor. So when we say channel, it can allow substances pass through to the membrane. Second, carrier. So carrier can help to transport the materials across the membrane. So pumps. I know that you all know that the pumps it can move these substances against their concentration region. So receptors. So when we say receptor, it can receive a signal from outside the cell. So carbohydrates. The extracellular surface of the plasma membrane contains small amount of carbohydrates, structure known as glycocalyx. So when we say glycocalyx, it can help with cell recognition and protection, and also it can regulate the movement of fluid between the endothelial cells and function as a barrier to micromolecules. So let's proceed to the next slide. So fluid mosaic model of membrane structure. So this fluid mosaic model is explaining the structural part of the cell membrane. So in terms of fluids, it means that the lipid and proteins can move around within the layer that makes the membrane flexible. So in terms of the word mosaic, it means that so it refers to the patchwork of different proteins embedded in the lipids, which help the membrane perform any kind of functions. So there's two types of phospholipid. As I said earlier, the two types of phospholipid is hydrophobic components and hydrophilic components. When we say hydrophobic, it can this part is avoids the water. So when we say hydrophilic also, it interacts with water. So this protein floating amid lipids components is very similar to the bulk at the pad. Murag katong like maliit na bark, katong bark na like nasa tubig nila. Murag very similar. So, and the next slide will be explained by David.